She ran up the last 5 steps, hitting the door with a loud thud. The formidable lady nearly toppled over backwards down the steps. Fortunately, the board wedged itself into a space between the steps and stopped her fall. Hello, welcome to In My Words. The book I am reading from is titled The Monster We Call Dad by D.A. Riles. This book is not intended for young readers. After each reading session, I will briefly give information about a chosen plant. I hope through my words you will gain insight, knowledge, and a deeper appreciation and understanding of this mysterious and intricate world. Though the road may be long and hard, compassion and beauty can be gained through the enjoyment of nature and experiencing its wondrous gifts. Thank you for joining me. Johnny, go and sit on the couch for Grandma, okay? The fearful woman called through the door to the small boy. Johnny laughed and ran into the living room. She thought he would go back to the couch, but he kept running around. Johnny thought it was funny. Hearing his little footsteps running across the floor was somewhat calming. Then again, it caused great concern to the small woman. What can I do? Grandma wondered to herself. I need to open this door before he hurts himself. Going back down the stairs, she looked around for something to bash open the door with. Spying a 2x4, Grandma picked up the unwieldy thing and walked up the stairs. Nearing the top, Grandma turned around and said to Sarah, "Stay down there, do you hear?" Sarah took heed of Grandma's warning, for she could hear it in her voice that something was not right. 3 steps from the top, Grandma tried to run with the wooden board, wanting to ram it into the door. It didn't budge. She tried again, still nothing. Only a minor dent appeared in the wood. Giving it one more try, this time she ran up the last 5 steps, hitting the door with a loud thud. The formidable lady nearly toppled over backwards down the steps. Fortunately, the board wedged itself into a space between the steps and stopped her fall. Grandma could hardly believe it. Nothing but a small hole appeared in the door. Deciding that this wasn't the best choice, she looked around the basement for other options. Seeing the small basement window, she went through various scenarios as to what might be the best plan. The window was much too small even for her to climb through. The elderly lady came up with an idea which she thought might work. "Sarah," Grandma said with slight hesitation, "I need you to help Grandma, okay?" "Okay," Sarah replied excitedly. She liked helping Grandma. "I'm going to lift you up to the window. You need to open it and climb through, all right?" Sarah smiled broadly and replied, "Okay." Feeling like a big girl, she strode proudly over to the window. Looking up at Grandma, Sarah said, "I bet Johnny couldn't do this, could he, Grandma?" "No, he couldn't. You're Grandma's big girl. I know that you can do it." No one else was around to intrude on this special moment with Grandma. Sarah felt happy. Grandma lifted her granddaughter up to the red-framed rectangular window. Reaching for the small hook and eyelatch that held the window closed, Sarah pulled hard on it. Feeling it give way, she pulled the hook all the way out. Smiling at Grandma, the small child wiggled her body out the window and onto the ground outside. The day was nice, and it felt good to have the grass touching her face. Standing up proudly, she shouted excitedly to Grandma, "What do I do?" Grandma called back to her through the open window, "That's my big girl. I need you to come back into the house. I need you to try the back door first, okay?" "Okay," nodded Sarah. Quickly, she ran to the door. It was only a few feet away from the window. Sarah turned the knob, and it went open. Running back to the window where Grandma was waiting for her, she said, "I can't open it, Grandma." "That's okay. Try the front door." Running around the dirt path which circled the house from the continuous play of the children, Sarah reached the front door. Going up the front door steps, Sarah turned the handle of the door and it opened. Quickly scanning the room, she saw Johnny peeking from around the large couch. Sarah walked over to him and asked, Why did you shut the door? She questioned her little brother in a big sister voice. Play with me, Sawa. I can't right now. I'm helping Grandma, she said proudly. You play, Johnny begged his sister. We'll play later after I help Grandma, okay? Johnny followed Sarah as she walked over to the basement door. Grandma? Sarah called out. What should I do? Is the knob on the door? Answered the voice in the other side. No, it's on the floor. Put the knob back in the door handle and turn the handle. Sarah picked up the cut glass knob for the door and pushed it into the hole and turned the knob, opening the door for Grandma. Grandma smiled at Sarah and Johnny as the door opened. Giving Sarah and Johnny a great big hug, she smiled sweetly, saying, You're such a big girl. What would I do without you? Sarah was proud of herself. She felt so happy. Broccoli is an annual. It needs plenty of sun to grow properly. Broccoli does have an issue with the cabbage butterfly. Cabbage butterflies lay eggs inside the plant, and that is when you will begin to see some small green caterpillars crawling around inside the heads of the broccoli. Sometimes you'll see them crawling on the stems. If you see them on the stem, you can just pick them off. But usually that is an indication that there are already caterpillars inside of the heads of the broccoli. There is an easy solution to get rid of the caterpillar after they have entered the broccoli. However, it is better to prevent them from entering the plant in the first place. The best way that I have found is to put a very fine netting over the plant as soon as the broccoli sprouts, and then allow the netting to continue to cover the entire plant until it has fully grown. There will be times when this may not keep all of the cabbage butterflies out. However, I will tell you how to get rid of them once they are inside the broccoli head. Do know that the caterpillars are not harmful if eaten. For me, I just find them very undesirable to find in my raw broccoli as I'm eating it, for then you'll see little green worms wiggling around as you're eating. So I find that undesirable. What I do to remove the caterpillar after they have entered the head of broccoli and before I eat them is that I put them into a bowl of cold water. You can either leave the heads whole, or I myself prefer to break the broccoli into pieces, and that way I know for sure it's going to be the water and the ingredients will definitely penetrate and get rid of most, if not all, of the caterpillar worms inside. So I take my broccoli pieces and I place them in a bowl of cold water. To this I add approximately 1/4 cup of salt, any type will do, and 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, preferably 4 to 5% vinegar. Allow it to sit for 20 or more minutes. As it sits, you will see the caterpillars float to the top of the water where you can pick them off and discard them. Also, if you choose not to do that method, you can boil your broccoli if you choose to have it cooked or boiled. You can just boil the broccoli in the water and the caterpillars will float to the top, where once again you can just pick them out, preferably using a slotted spoon to scoop them out. Be sure you don't burn your fingers. Just remember, it won't hurt you if you accidentally ingest one of these worms. It's not a big deal. Broccoli can be eaten raw, cooked, baked, or fried. It can be frozen or dehydrated. Broccoli is a wonderful vegetable to add to your diet. Please like, share, and subscribe. I look forward to having you join me again next time, where I will highlight another plant, and I will continue to read from the book titled The Monster We Call Dad by D.A. Riles, which you can purchase from Amazon.com. Thank you for having joined me.